incredible defender for Wichita State. He'll likely match up with Dwayne Evans. Whoever Tequil Cotton guards, that's like the ultimate sign of respect from Wichita State. They point guards, they put them on power forwards. They want to shut off your water when they play Cotton.
Shut down Pitt in the tournament a year ago. He was good at Clay Anthony early. Early on the preseason top 50 won the Naismith and Wooden Award as the nation's top player. And Lowe wins the tap. Sig has the ball and a huge crowd on hand. With a lot of fervent anticipation. Clash. Jordan Jet. The look for McCall. Evans. A travel.
Now, Evans will have about an inch or two on Tequil Cotton. And so Jim Cruz is going to allow Evans to roll down to the post some. But that's the versatility of Tequil. He can guard you inside, he can guard you outside.
Very aggressive look on. Early a stride inside. The shot off. The rebound down low. And a load up. Cotton off the mark. Touch. Oh, the corner look. Mike McCall. Cotton down the lane. A travel in traffic.
Just excellent bills by Lowe. Had a pass in which he could not gather and finds McCall, who struggled with the three. He's more of a driver, an athlete, but when lined up and at home, and St. Louis better shooting team at home.
So the shots go, they go oftentimes. Not really a threat from there. Leads instead for Evans. Nice look down low, and Low banks it in. Nobody's coming back for the ball. Wichita now gets it across. Cotton defended by Evans. Van Vliet, the sophomore point. 5 to shoot. Cotton the long two, no. And a step out of bounds by Dwayne Evans. Not a lot of ball movement though for Wichita, Doug.
Well, Wichita State's struggling with the defense of St. Louis. And look, St. Louis is a very good team as Ron Baker turned his ankle. But what's impressive about St. Louis, teams have been challenged this year by changing the interpretation of the rules. So there's the thought that when you're on a ball screen, which means when the big man comes out to show help, that you can't hedge as strong as you used to because the fear of your big guys always getting in foul trouble. But if you watch St. Louis, they're doing a job of having high hands and not hand checking. And Wichita State has to turn the corner in their ball screens late in shot clock. And look at how tightly they're guarding Ron, not letting them get the ball in bounds. Everybody is up the line.
Early. Off the pillows. Nice lead down low, but the miss for Lufield.
Wichita State has to beat you. Malcolm Armstead's playing overseas. He was their one that could beat you off the bounce last year. That's the way you beat man-to-man pressure.
The Beckbo help coming. The ball came free, and the whistle on the end line. For Baker, you mentioned his time in the Open that he missed last year. He had a fracture in his foot, and I'm sure many Shocker fans started to gasp when he was slow to get up. The corner look, swish. Mike McCall off to an electric. Early. Forced one tipped. The floater knocked aside again. Seems like Billikens are everywhere, Doug.
They are so athletic and so aggressive defensively.
Jet, the reluctant off day, not a great look. And a leaping rebound there for Lufil and the Shockers. 12th ranked team in the country. Challenge down 8-0. Baker gets a stride. Can't quite finish, but gets contact.
This is scouting 101, and I watched this morning with Wichita State. They said the way we play inbounds passes, surprise, St. Louis does what's called chase on the inbounds play, which means when they throw it in, they're going to run out and try and get it back. That's what Mike McCall hit a 3 on.
Free throw there, Baker. Some subs come on. Grandy Glaze, Austin McBroom enter for St. Louis. Glaze, the team's lead rounder.
And Glaze is, I don't know, about 6'4", but just built like us. Incredible energy.
And he had been a starter until last game. This is the second he comes off the pine. Free throw look is there. Nick Wiggins on for Wichita State. They look at Glaze, who averages 7 board. Began last year as a starter, and then he dislocated his shoulder in the end game. That cost him 5 affairs. The soft pressure peels away. McBroom, the Central Michigan transfer. Slapped aside. Early came out of nowhere.
Clearly has Mike McCall Jr. on him, but because he doesn't want to post, he's just a spot-up shooter. Exposed.
Dipsy-do penetration.
Big question for Van Vliet. He's a tremendous shooter, plays at kind of a steady pace, but he penetrated pressure defense. That time against McBroom, the answer is yes.
McBroom, Evans, quick touch to... Lowe
has good hands.
When he was 17, he was the youngest man to New Zealand's men's national team. Now he gets the board. And we have a timeout on the floor.
St. Louis's head coach, a long-time Bobby Knight assistant. Now, when he was a head coach at Evansville and had the likes K-Spear, they were a motion team. But you have to adjust. You have to adapt or perish. And, of course, he's adapted to college basketball, runs a ball screen motion.
Broom on the run, a travel in the lane. What have you seen as an impact of the rules on the game in the early stage of this year?
Well, obviously, it allows you to trade more freely. You know, the difference is both of these teams were taught defensively last year the way taught playing under Eddie Sutton. That when a guy beats you, you put your hand on his leg. When you turn in, you kind of gather yourself. That was not. I think the officials have adjusted. The first couple weeks, it was ridiculous. It was out of control. I think some of those scores were more indicative of a free throw contest. But general dribble penetration and on post-ups, people are playing defense with their feet, with their hands, and that's the true intent of it, as long as officials don't go overboard.
Result should be higher scoring, more enjoyable basketball, right?
I don't know if this is higher. Yes, more movement, more. It does. You don't want the slugfests. Still get some grappling when you get into league play, whether it's in the Missouri Valley or the Big Ten.
He's a rim rattler, no. Cotton, who at 6'2", plays a lot bigger than. Got that loose ball. Bill look lob. Easily picked by Glaze.
Well, that's where Clee Anthony Earl really comfortable posting up. But previously he had McCall on him, so they had told him to post up. He can't post up on Blaze. Blaze too strong for him.
Great extra look to Lowe. (12-4) Billikens. Final Four a year ago, ranked 12th in the country, has not known defeat. but has known some sluggish first half. The free throw line pulled up no for early. The putback falls short as well. Another lead rejected away by Dwayne Evans. The Broom off the low screen, the floater.
Well, the difference for State is their spacing is better and their penetration is better, whereas Wichita State can't. They're trying to run their sets, and they can't get a step or get a crease within the St. Louis defense.
Reluctant Jay for Van Vliet. Knock it down.
Now that Van Vliet can do. He hit big shots last year against Gonzaga in the second game in their huge upset in the NCAA tournament. Has hit big shots so far this year.
He had 13 points in that game. 7 came in the last 90 seconds.
And their last 7, made 7 threes in a row, something they had not done in over a decade in state basketball.
Low for 3. Getting very confident. Pinball. There, look at Greg Marshall. Champion his team, multiple subs.
This is a big challenge for Ron Baker because they don't have a backup point guard. He becomes a de facto backup point guard. DJ Bowles actually had a heart issue, and so he's not able to play, so that slides Baker over to the point. So now he's playing against legitimate prep defense of St. Louis. Can he handle that pressure here on the road? Thankfully, though it's a challenge to him, his ability to play at the next level a couple years from now is going to be based upon whether or not he can handle the ball.
Has to show that versatility.
Very good athlete. Football player in high school.
We'll see what Troy Murray has had to do as he's adjusted in the associate. What do you see here, though?
Well, it looks like what Greg Marshall wants them to do is go to the monitor. Go to the monitor to see where the deflection is. That's another one of the new rules this year.
Greg Marshall knows how much possessions matter early. Shot off a win against BYU by 13 points, and Baker at 23 in that game. But here he tees up McBroom. Jake Toledo transfer his first minutes. Jordan Jett is back as well. He already has a foul. Jett, the leader on it. Baker running the show. Evan Wessel.
You can see Wessel not comp against the pressure of St. Louis.
Moving center, Darius Carter.
Here's the previous possession about the ball screen motion. Jordan Jett turns down ball screen. Here comes the ball screen, frees it. He rejects it and goes baseline, but there's no help. Worried about the post up on the weak side. I think Jett actually got fouled. That's the strength of Jordan Jett. The old C's went to prep school.
Jett has a touch. Took a tumble with some contact. Steps called.
That's very good defense. He wants to catch and shoot. Wichita State got out there on the shot. He kind of got a little sideways with his footing.
Baker showing the left-hand handle against Jett. Dump. Colby. Ooh. Manning the board. McBroom, the hesitant 3. Ball flop. Baker has yet to hit a field goal in this game. Has only points at the free throw line in the early stage. Down low they go. The twisting fall away, not there for Colby. Thank you very much. Short air jet. Nice look to Manning. Floats it up. Taken away. Wichita State just made field goals since the 15:53 mark until Baker finally connects.
You got to have feel. Got to have feel for when to take over a game. As you pointed out, Ron Baker hasn't been able to get loose. And I know he wants the team as the team's backup point guard, but they need his scoring.
Long two is off. Baker taps the loose ball and corrals it. He's been so hot of late, 21 plus in his last 3 games. He was P of the CBE Hall of Fame tournament. Down out of control. Wiggins can't quite finish.
Part of it is who you're playing, though, John. IU, a team that is not a very good defensive team and an outstanding offensive team. And you look at the guys they've lost. Armstead took over last year just down the street at Arch Madness and helped get them into the tournament. Carl Hall was kind of a go-to low post player. They lost a lot. Dimitri Williams, good player. So the thought that they're going to be as good as they were last year, especially changing point, there's going to be some growth there, especially against a very good St. Louis team.
Low, his pass kicked away by Lou Field. In your mind, if everything comes together, you know, Final Four is one thing, the tournament's the but is the ceiling in terms of regular season, conference tournament success the same Wichita State? Or is
I mean, it should be better. Creighton's not in their league this year, and the rest of the league, I don't think is necessarily at their level. But the Missouri Valley is just a war every night. Good teams, man-to-man teams, tough Midwest basketball. Very good, well-coached league.
3 on the timer. Nice job by Early with active hands.
The line, timing, shot clock, and possession with 2 minutes of regulation or OT to the monitor. That's why Greg Marshall wanted them to go to the monitor a couple minutes ago, and they could not do it.
Lob to Evans, 4 on the timer. A dribble. I think Beckbo can't finish. Early the board, Baker the break. Early, given a brief path, leaves down low in the finish for Lou Field.
Well, there's your offense. Ron Baker and Clee Early on just an old 2-man game, and when somebody comes over to help, you put them in position to score.
Oh, wide open. This is the money.
I'd go to it again. Clee Anthony Early on a ball screen and pop.
3-ball Van Vliet. Jet says thank you very much. Free throw line Jay off. Baker thinking bucket.
Nice.
This was an 8 game at the start, now within 2.
It all changed on the Ron Baker 3. They got Clee Anthony Early going with the assist.
McCall pops loose, and some friendly fire, nearly lost the possession. Baker, the team's top scorer, 15.5 per game. Field, spin to face. Pretty look. Billikens haven't hit a field goal in more than 4. Evans.
Wichita's got shooting jump shots, which is what you want from St. Louis, especially their non-jump shooters.
Early, a little late to get back. Billikens with brief numbers and Jet and foul.
That was a travel. Holy cow.
The stutter step. They're looking Rick Majerus. We'll have a halftime on the late former St. Louis head coach who passed away exactly 1 year ago today. It's a 9-0 spurt for Wichita State. First 9 possessions without a made basket. Span of more than 5 minutes. Spanned by as many as 10. Low, the force pass easily picked. Early, the double closes quickly. Baker's got a game-high 7. Twisting his way off the paint and finishes.
Well, feels like Baker has figured out, I got to take over this game, and it also feels like they realize whoever Barnett's guarding, they can go at.
Gall got off to a hot shooting start. Anticipation tips it to McCall. Quick 3, Barnett, no. And the pinball to Whitty and Darius Carter. Fred Van Vliet, one of the most highly decorated recruits to come in with Greg Marshall. And Alyssa Carter gets knocked.
To be correct earlier, Wichita State lost to Creighton in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship. So it's interesting on how perception becomes reality. Look, Creighton won an NCAA tournament game last year, won the tournament championship, won the league championship. But because Wichita goes on a 4-game run, they're now a team, despite the fact that they lost their point guard, lost their starting center, lost their starting power forward. I'm not trying to tell you Wichita State's not a good team, but like 9-0, and they had yet to be ranked before they became 9-0. Some of it is perception, it is reality. And I think Wichita is somewhere in the middle of 12th best team in the country, probably not. But they were a lot better than not being ranked last year.
Oddly enough, as they leapt out to that start, they did so by winning the Cancun Challenge, the tournament that St. Louis comes off of. Evans in the double. A lot more spacing here. Cotton.
You know what? Sometimes you play really good defense, and the guy makes it. That was outstanding defense from St. Louis. To kill Cotton, just said, that's all right, I'll jump up and make a shot.
Enter today hitting 53% of the shots from the field. Evans, the little flick. Evans against Cotton. Rowe trying to post McBroom. It's the triple. And a good box out down low as Wichita State grabs the board and Cotton.
So that's not a good shot.
Floating throw and then a foul on the loose ball.
Here's the last bucket from Takeo Cotton. Cotton uses a ball screen, and Rob Lowe comes all the way out. Just let it roll it, guys. Lowe comes all the way out. Hedges. Have to look. They're helping. There's nowhere to go there. That's good defense. That's just a better shot.
Last foul went to Glaze as his first. Teams that can see the scoring come at a somewhat sporadic rate. That you necessarily anticipate shots like that from most. And Lee
nice.
Down low, Walker field.
Well, they have been daring Wichita State to throw a basket, playing second shot basketball. But Wichita State, their theme, this is how they beat the tournament. This is how they beat Pittsburgh in the tournament. Build a wall and make you make jump shot top of us. Easy to say, but they're actually doing it here so far in these last 5-6 minutes against.
Doing it on the road where the Billikens have won 35 of 38. McBroom. There's an open look in rhythm. Entered as the team's top in threat with 11 triples. More than 40% efficiency. Now trying to delete. Ball knocked loose. Barnett. A blocking foul.
So when you're the primary defender, that means you're guarding the actual basketball. You can move to the side if you've established position. I think that was a block. I think that was a pretty good call. But one of the assertions that people wrongly make is that when you're trying to charge, you can't move. You can't if you're the primary defender. The second means you're the help side guy.
That was Cotton. Picked up the infraction. Baker back for Wichita State. Will take the place of Cotton. This could minimize real-time rest for Cotton. 2 seconds and a dead ball means immediate. 4-point affair. First meeting of these teams since the 74-75 campaign on open hold. What a corner. Eight to shoot, Baker. Wiggins coughs it up. Jet to the rack. The lunatics going nuts. Great anticipation by Evans. McBroom astride inside. Tie game. Early. Great anticipation is early.
Can Wichita State get a good shot? Decent look from early, but they had 2 previous turnovers. That's not a good shot.
Tempo picking up.
When it starts getting it going, now you're going to hit quality jump shots. A little pump fake, one Billikens back on top. And so they built it at 10,000 seats. Still maybe 1,000 or 2,000 too big, but a full arena. And the blueprints and the foundation that Majerus and his staff helped build have led them to a couple NCAA tournaments and to a team that this year.
Dwayne Evans slams it home. 11-0 spurt for the Billikens. They've been very building. They went 17-2 here a season ago. Nice, soft, low to lead.
I got to tell you, it's like a reversal in terms of the officiating. Very physical. There's some hand checking, some bumping going on. I'm okay with it. My question is, when these officials are evaluated, will they be okay with it?
Short air jet. The lob tip by.
What a competitive play by Baker.
With numbers.
Oh!
And the right-handed hammer by Clay Anthony early. Can't help but smirk a little bit when you see a play like that. Jet. Early off the spin. Lost it en route. Out of bounds.
Well, watch Lowe. Lowe opens up the court because he's a shooter. LaFille helps. Called set play out of the break. But Ron Baker with the steal. And then here's Clay Anthony. I got your back. Nice little dump off. And the only thing that stopped him from jumping any higher was the fact that he down to the rim.
Well, here it is. Timer and game clock virtually identical. What are you looking for here?
You're probably looking for McBroom off a ball screen. They will look to get Barnett open for a jump shot. He's the shooter. McBroom can also shoot. Evans more going to the basket. You have to watch for him on the second shot. Second shot means offensive rebound.
McBroom pops a three in the step back. No. The board gets it down. But went on a scoring drought of 7.5 minutes. Wichita State scored 17 unanswered. And then the Billikens conclude the stands on a 13-4 spurt, forcing 4 turnovers.
Just a quick answer to several people questioning the score on Twitter. Both scorebooks, there's 2 being kept, have the score as 29-28. Greg Marshall just asked the officials about it. So though it may have jumped on the scoreboard, it was simply fixing an earlier error. That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Hill hanging and hitting.
And you heard Greg Marshall say, we want big boy basketball. So they go to Chadrick LaFille, showing that he has confidence that LaFille can play in this game and can score in the low post.
McCall. Evans stepping into it. 2 off the mark. Early, the rebound.
See, there's all different kinds, John, of three-point shot. That one for Wichita State you'll take defensively because that's not the strength of Evans' game.
Baker, the aggressive drive and a foul on Lowe.
Remember we talked about primary and secondary defender? So this is the difference. Rob Lowe is the secondary defender, and as the secondary defender, you have to be set and not moving before he goes up. So primary, you're guarding. Had he been guarding Ron Baker the entire time in transition, might have been a charge. But because he was the secondary defender, the new way in which they're determining block is your feet have to be planted and set before the offensive player leaves the floor.
In your mind, when you watch games early this year, A, has that been consistent, and B, how difficult to arbitrate as a referee?
I think the charge block has been better than it's ever been. I think the rest is a complete mess. And I frankly think there's been no adjustment today in terms of the freedom. Guys are guarding better, but they're letting them hand check a little bit. They're letting them balance out defensively, touching their offensive player. And that's the way defense has been played for the last 15 years.
Glaze, well off the mark. Came off the bench for a second straight game, but does begin this second. And Vliet has moved, and there's a block. And some chippiness thereafter with Lowe.
Van Vliet has to be careful here. I understand he thinks there's a little extra, gets bumped there, gets fouled. He just kind of, but he can't throw an elbow like that. He's lucky that he's only 6 feet tall. If he's 6'7" and does the same thing, he catches somebody in the head. And now they're going to go to the monitor, and they're going to review against Wichita State. Lamar Patterson drove an elbow, end up hitting, I think it was Tickrell Cotton in the head, and end up being Pittsburgh having an and one. Patterson had early fouls and had to sit. Now they're calling it they're trying to guard against intent. You know, they're trying to intent, which is the right way, and the officials saw nothing there.
Cotton driving on Barnett. Cotton, second, floats it home.
You win a lot of games because of guys like Cotton guarding multiple positions and just finding offense on offensive rebounds.
The call hit on the end line. So Van Vliet's got two.
He's got to be smart because he threw that little elbow when he got his hand on him. They're watching for him.
Screened off. McCall. Baker catch and shoot. Oh, pretty.
There are coaches in the Big 12 that have to be kicking themselves that Ron Baker was a walk first year at Wichita State.
Nice job by Evans. That happens though, right? Slip through sometimes.
You know, part of it was he played out in Western Kansas. He didn't blow up until late. Wichita was on him. But I mean, you kidding me? Kansas State couldn't use him? Be a great player at Iowa State for Freddie Hoiberg. Paid his own way.
Evans denied a couple of times and the crowd going bananas.
Nice cut.
And low. Up they go, and exasperated Greg Marshall has his hands on his head.
Well, they are letting him. It's a beautiful backdoor cut from Takeo Cotton and a fine from Ron Baker. Baker comes off the ball screen, Cotton cuts. I could not see from that angle. But, you know, in fair, they weren't presuming or assuming there was a foul in the previous possessions, which is the way you want basketball to be efficient. If there's a foul, blow the whistle and call it. Don't assume there's contact when there wasn't.
That foul to Baker. McCall in double figure, and the now senior once led this team in scoring as a freshman. It's the first time a Billiken had done that since some guy named Larry Hughes was the 8th pick in the NBA. Was in the association through 2012. Baker is a night jet. And Baker.
What a smart Jordan Jet. Baker's looking for something offensively, really a defensive group in the state. Jet smacks it out of his hand and then just kind of takes a dive and gets the official to call the third personal foul. That's not a foul on Baker, but it looked like a foul because he just grabbed Baker's arm and fell down.
Baker now goes to the pine. Nick Wiggins, and there was brother Ed Better back into the fray.
Well, Wiggins has to show that this is what they're in and he can be effective. It's a little bit lost in the first.
And Evans has been getting many more looks near the cup of late.
Well, he's smart. Look, he's not a jump shooter. Although he will take jump shots. That's not his 15, 17 feet in. And first he was posting up the smaller Takeo Cotton. Now they're playing him as an undersized power forward, so he's rolling the post.
fouls it away.
Chafin Center is rocking as St. Louis gets from Rob Lowe. Excellent out-of-bounds play underneath from St. Louis. They've scored 4 times right now. Dead balls. And that's the kind of things you win. You win and lose games based upon underneath out-of-bounds side.
So Jim Cruz dialing it up. Fans triple as St. Louis in front. Low with a team high 11. Great feed. Jet to Evans.
Wow, what a tremendous set. There's Rob Lowe, because Wichita respects him as a shooter, is what's opening up all the rolls to the bucket for St. Louis.
Off the Colby screen, Van Vliet. Cotton. Eight to shoot. Cotton. No change of possession. That's a shot clock violation.
Here's the last bucket. Here's what I'm talking about, John. All right, so there's 2 ball screens. First one, but this is just a fake. It's just an okey doke. Roll it, guys. Roll it now. Freeze it again. Okay, now this is called roll and replace. So Evans is going to pick and roll, and they're going to replace him with Lowe. But watch what happens. As he rolls, Kadeem Colby, my guy just hit a 3. I can't leave him. And that opens up the lane wide open. But he's not supposed to roll with his man because Wichita State to switch.
The subtlety of G and sometimes the more brute physical forces. Van Vliet gets floored.
A smart play from Van Vliet. It shouldn't be a foul on the defense, but it is a foul on the defense. As Lee drives in and just jumps into Nick Broom and makes him call the foul on Austin McBroom.
McBroom's first.
It's a great lesson for young guards. When you drive in, you think floater, you think double clutch, you think if you see it moving in your direction, initiate contact, get to the line, and hook down 2, although he makes 1 of 2.
Sage words from the point guard himself. Jordan Jet. Cotton off elbow. Pure Cotton the result as well.
Yeah, it was Cotton. What's really smart about Keel Cotton was he caught it. So many other players would have been. Instead, one dribble in and takes a 15-footer.
McBroom eyeing Evans. Help and wait from Van Vliet. Evans.
And this is what makes Dwayne Evans so good. He's kind of like an undersized power forward. So, all right, fine. You want to put Derrick on me? Who's more of a center, more of a 5? I'll use my athleticism and get a 1 step and shoot a little running left-hand hook.
Carter now has 3. Evans, the standing player in the A-10 tournament a year ago, cans the free throw. Van Vliet. Carter the screen, Cotton the drive. On the spot, Darius Carter.
Again, that is Takeel Cotton splitting the double team and just missing the shot. Carter and Fisher.
Low the bounce, Evans off the head fake, the foul.
They can't guard him. They cannot guard Dwayne Evans in the low post. All the other stuff you're doing is fine. But St. Louis figured it out. Let's throw the ball to 21. If he's got a little guy, he's going to post up low. He's got a big guy, he'll post up, can use his athleticism.
They caught early as his first. Throw there. Billikens a couple of subs. Barnett, Manning return. Carter gets a. Evans entered this game already with 1,000 points. With the scoring thus far today, he's passed Bob Ferry for top 20 in program.
Nice, a Bob Ferry reference. Excellent. I mean, think about the seniors on this team. You know, they had a couple of suspensions going back to their freshman year. Quamaine Mitchell, one of the players, of course, last year, suspended, and it got them early experience. So they played games for 4 years together, played a couple NCAA tournaments. This is a caliber game in terms of the two teams, the energy, the defense, and even the officiating.
Those seniors have a chance to be the winningest class in program history. They can win 24 games, a number that many expect them capable of reaching. Van Vliet had to shoot. Poked loose. And a foul. Van Vliet with 3. Carter with 3 and Baker with 3.
And what's maybe most interesting is still bump on the ball screen is not called. Watch, Fred Van Vliet comes over and Evans bumps him. That's all. Every other game I've seen officiated this year, but it's not called, and he gets his pocket by McCall Jr.
It's also bonus time now. So 1-1 the other end for McCall. Entered the day. 6 of his 8 free throws on the year.
John, I want to make sure I point this out. I agree that it shouldn't be a foul. Players were just taught to drive into your hip and then automatically be called a foul. I'm just saying that it have been over-officiated earlier on in the season. Today they've kind of reverted back median or the mean. I always get confused by the median or the mean. You cannot get picked when you're trying to go one-on-one at this level. And McCall is an exceptional defender. Have 2 steals a game.
Baker.
Oh, Debo.
Able to hang with him there.
He just went Mark Jackson and backed him down from midcourt and blocked once and then got it back and scored.
Little 2-2-1, Wichita State. These two teams used to meet on when they were in the Missouri Valley Conference together.
Of course, the Wheat Shockers play here, and they play in Arch Madness just down the street.
Twisting Jay Noel with the whistle on the Evans jumper.
Now Ron Baker playing big.
Dwayne Evans at the line. Foul to Lufiel, his first. Brought him out the media. 8 fouls now. Out of Wichita State, the first of 2 true Evans. Cotton back in. Foul concerned for Wichita State. Carter, Van Vliet, and Baker all have 3. Baker picked up his third at the 16-14 mark. It was a 2-point St. Louis lead at the time. Came back at the 12-31 mark. The margin was 4. It's there once more at 48-44. Job by the big man, John Manning. See the numbers on 16. That's a game high. Evans with 13 to pace St. Louis.
Are the for St. Louis. In a zone, you got to know where the shooters are.
There he is. And the foul on the loose.
Nick Wiggins, but I'm not sure how that's a foul when you're trying to box out.
Wiggins now has 2. So 1-1 for Evans. 7% free throw shooter entering today.
We mentioned they had some suspensions their freshman year. They went out and they got pasted 84-47 their freshman year. But they really learned from it. And a tremendous road team last season. The question is, were they going to get the perimeter shooting and the interior as they lost Cody Ellis for graduation? Ellis, by the way, if you're a St. Louis fan, finishing up his degree and is going to go play in Sydney for the Kings here before the new year.
Fitting for a team that has so much flavor from that area. Australia, New Zealand. Nice hesitation by Lou Field.
The roll man has been open for Wichita State, but Bartley make that pass. Once again, Takil Cotton setting up Lou Field.
Around the perimeter they go. McBroom open. He has lived on that block and he can't put it home.
Rebounds from Dwayne Evans. He just pushed Takil Cotton under the basket. Got him. Look, it's man, it's zone, it hasn't mattered. 21 from the best dominated this game down around the post.
Evan Wessel, Wiggins gets a blow.
Now Wessel should give them shooting to stretch the floor. But he seemed to struggle with the man-to-man defense of the Billikens in the first half.
Up top to Jet. The midway point of the McCall. And Lowe goes over.
Yes, knowing your personnel. McCall hit one off an inbounds play. But really, he's a driver, an athlete who, if he hits a couple of shots, that's great. That's just the cherry on top of the sundae. The hardest thing to do in a zone is find a man to box out. Ron Baker with the box out. He gets fouled. And now they get possession down 3.
See Lowe with 3. No other Billiken is more than 1. Baker. And 1. And what a job by Lou Field to slam on the brakes.
Nice little eye that Greg Marshall wants to get the ball to Ron Baker. So Baker enters the basketball to the wing. He enters to the wing, catches it up top off the flare screen. Watch the field. Just tries to part the read. If you watched him, you'd say technically that's a moving screen, but actually he'll say posting up. So you hold your man off, and you end up keeping the help from coming in time. It's an and 1.
That's a costly foul. It goes on Lowe as his 4th.
And that totally changes what St. Louis offensively, because now they don't have a stretch 4 or a stretch 5. They don't have a shoot at a post position, so you can contract your defense.
Big man Enning, who has the ball. He is 6'11". And he turns it over. And he is indeed not nearly the shooter. The lob. Baker and Cotton, next level.
Players making winning plays.
This game has lived up to the billing. Nip and tuck. Huge runs early. But every possession has been its own battle. McCall trying to thread the needle. Good Evans. Nice save by McCall. Manning, the reluctant baseline. Joe. Who's going to shoot? Only averages 3 a game. Those are a big set up. Baker.
Not a good shot. No one else got a touch. Fantastic defense by Jordan Jett.
Jett shaking and baking. And he's it. Low on the bench. 4 fouls and still plenty of time to go in this game as Wessel picks up his first.
Jordan Jett, such a smart ball player. He's not a great jump shooter, but he doesn't take bad jump shots. 18-footers in that drive. He saw Wessel, who's not experienced at guarding like his. Grown man body or grown man hair.
As a follically challenged fellow, I'm insanely jealous.
Yeah, no, he's... From Minneapolis.
All defensive team pick. He entered today a couple of steals shy of top program history.
You know, young teams, John, what they have a tendency to do is playing well offensively, they break down defensively. And what's special about both of these clubs, trouble that both teams are in, what's special about both of these clubs is that they do, when they're not playing well, they play better on defense.
The hallmarks and ones that you can see have the fingerprints of their coaches littered throughout.
Well, now if you're Clee Anthony Early, you haven't played in about probably 15 real-time minutes. You don't want to shoot it on your first touch. Like to get it going.
He's matched up with Evans, who anticipates and steals. He's at home. Evans with a team-high 16. Van Vliet turns it up. Evans hit more.
Holiday hoops here in the Lou as Dwayne Evans
Now has himself a team-high 16 and back at the line once more. We've been in dubs for some time.
He used to ride a moped around here. He has moped stolen. Who steals his moped?
Who's buddy's moped?
That's a good point.
Able to hit. Evans has 16 of his 18 in the second half.
No Ron Baker. Where does Wichita State for a bucket? To Keelcott driving or a Clee Anthony Early jump shot?
Wiggins pocket picked. Evans the head man to just ill time. And Baker races to the table to check in.
And Greg Marshall understands he's got no offense with 31s not in the game. Wiggins has really struggled this afternoon. Playing against an excellent defensive team.
Baker playing with 3 fouls. Van Vliet doing the same. Baker the dive and a kick ball.
What a good man. He really saved his team a bucket as they tried to run a backdoor, took all the help away from Ron Baker, and he was wide open.
7:51. And the whistle as they dumped it down low to Carter.
People forget that Wichita State last year, when they needed a bucket, they turned to Malcolm Armstead. And he would go off a high ball and just had a series of bank shots going left. three starters from a team that went to the Final Four. There's another run through at steal.
Ball to Barnett against Van Vliet. Jet undercut. And they call the push.
Take a look here, John. I think this is a foul. I think it looks like a foul because Jet fell. Watch what happens. Carter, I couldn't really tell, but he didn't hit him with the body, and that's what was foul. Jet just kind of got off balance.
Carter now has 4.
Your issue is the turnover. Another run through and steal. And Wake's offense is throwing too many lateral passes to allow St. Louis to run through them. They ran one back door, but they got to, as you pointed out in the first half, they got them out more.
Second free throw. There, Lufiel in for Carter. It would help to get some dribble penetration too, right?
It would, but their personnel is not real dribble drive personnel, and they can't get a step on these ball screens. Van Vliet can't get a step on McCall.
Cotton in a mismatch with Barnett off the clear out. Man help.
Now, Tequil Cotton can't get a step.
That's a mismatch they'll take all day, right? With 3. 7 fouls on the Billikens.
We pointed out earlier, Wichita State feels like Tequil Cotton, it's an honor when he guards you, that's we think you're the best player. And it doesn't actually matter position-wise. But it's the plays, the little plays that he makes offensively, driving, offensive rebounds, post-up, occasional jump shots.
So much bigger than his 6'2" frame.
Yeah.
Seems like he's everywhere.
Yeah. And that's why so many miss. Growing up in Georgia, he wins you basketball games.
Evans and Jet playing catch. They get it across.
Wichita State's back in their matchup zone. Only really one jump shooter on the floor, St. Louis. And that's Barnett.
6 to shoot. McCall, how did he get that? Early steps into it. And a foul down low.
Adjustment by Greg Marshall. Wichita State hasn't been able to get anything going. Their high ball screen action. Big man comes out, sets a screen. And St. Louis is excellent defense at that single high ball screen. So he's opened up the lane by bringing up 2 screeners, and St. Louis seems a little bit confused as to their assignments when Wichita State does that.
Consequence here is the 4th foul on Manning. Remember, Lowe's all bench with 4. Those are the big men for the Billikens. Front end good for Lufiel. There's Lowe. It's been on the pine for some time. Bucket just before the break. Looks like he'll come back.
He was listening to you. You get 5, use them.
So Lowe comes on for Manning. Back to a 1-possession game. The tip pass off the double finds McCall.
Barnett looks a little tentative with the passes.
Baker with numbers. It's a little pretty. And Vliet. Flat or no.
Not a good shot. You get possession. Not a good shot. You can get that shot anytime you want.
Under 5 minutes. Evans. Low for three.
That's only his second touch since coming off the bench, sitting there for 10 minutes. I think I'll take that one. Again, Takeo Cotton guarding.
Early.
People can yell and scream all you want, but this is how officiating means block or charge. Lowe is the secondary defender. You have to before he leaves his feet. He is not. Plus, he's moving into Clee Anthony early. That's a good call.
And that means Lowe is fouled out with 4:20 to go.
And that's not a smart play. It's one of those deals where we can't win without. There's 4.5 minutes to go in this game, and sometimes you got to let the other team lay the ball.
They have a lot of possessions between now and the final horde.
Absolutely. It goes against what you're taught. What you're taught as a basketball player. But the more you kind of live to play another possession, if you will.
Well, now it's Manning, who's the lone big man, back in with 4.
Now, Manning's not a player. He just doesn't give you that stretch 4 or 5 out beyond the 3 points. There's a reason Rob Lowe is their starter, and there's a reason he's so effective.
Evans through the trap. Some time worked off the shot clock. Jet, Manning screen. A lid on the...
You can't get a better look than that against the zone. You simply have to make it.
Look. Oh, Clee Anthony early.
And you talk about great coaching. Clee Anthony early's played some small forward. But Greg Marshall knows the game. Going to continue to pick up 2-2-1 back into a matchup zone, which seems to have taken St. Louis out of their ability to get the ball to 21 at the low block.
Instead, he has it on the perimeter. 10 fouls on the Shockers, 9 on the Billikens.
Now Manning, that's the big guy. He's going to set screens on the defense at the top of the key. And Evans is going to man-to-man down low.
A deep open 3. Tip your cap on that, right?
You play the numbers and dare him to shoot. Credit Jordan Jet working on his jump shot, getting his feet set, and taking it at the end of the shot clock.
Against Barnett. Help from Manning, but he maintains handle. Under 3 minutes.
That one's going up.
Early all day. Oh, the head fake, deadly. Two mid-major heavyweights trading blows. Jetta McCall playing catch. Evans. The Manning's the elbow J for Jets. Another J. They're on their feet in St. Louis. Baker weaves in and hit on the second. Manning. Manning is fouled out. And we are out on the floor. 1:57 to go. Tied at 63.
Rewarded. You know, Baker hit the game winner to win the 3A state title back to Scott County Community High School from Scott City, Iowa. He loves the big moment.
Converts on the free throw. Worth noting that foul to Manning was his 5th, so he's out. Rob Lowe is That means Grandy Glaze, who started the second half but had been on the bench for most since the infancy of the stanza, is back out there at 6'6". They give up a lot of size. Wichita State takes plumb advantage.
Right, there you go. They've decided to go small. You pointed out Glaze. Glaze is a very rebounder defender. He's just really undersized and not skilled out in the perimeter. And Wichita State can contract their defense around Dwayne Evans.
Cotton against Glaze, who has some length on him.
Another about the call.
Attacking against Van Vliet. His instinct and anticipation, a huge part of St. Louis's spurts.
It's instinct, as you pointed out. Ash is both coached, and it's the player, and it's the fact that they're winning players. And he runs through the pass. He's so quick. Normally, you're actually taught, coaches work on this, you pass to deflect it with your inside hand because you're longer that way. He's picking up to do it with his outside. Technically wrong. That's his third run through of the day, plus Evans has a couple. It's the 18th turnover from Wichita State.
Well, the consequence of going with that other hand certainly helps to get out in transition, right? That foul was to Cotton as his third. Tough free throw miss. Remains deadlocked with $1:20 to go.
I want Ron Baker and Cleanthony early on the same side of the ball screen. That's what I want. Man, is good defense.
Baker gets the drive. Baker. The friendly roll against Evans. Road rims are usually not that kind. McCall, the three. A jet and flat-footed. Opposite Barnett. McCall, another look.
Wichita State plays some zone, but not a great zone team. I would go stay in the zone on the inbounds, though. They have gotten worked, giving up several open shots, Lewis, on this out of bounds. These two will work in tandem and get an open jump shot.
Big whistle with 30.1.
I saw Cleanthony earlier say, my bad. That was not a smart play. Why would you foul without letting the clock run? Make him make a shot. Just a mistake.
Second. Barnett is known as a shooter, a tough miss.
Percent.
Does convert on the second, does Barnett. 1 point game.
You got 4 timeouts. If you can't get it in, you have to have a clock in your.
Blaze fronting.
There it is.
Baker again to trigger. They creep everyone over midcourt.
Baker also has a very good arm, although you don't want to throw the ball deep here if you don't have to. There you see.
Poked free.
Barnett shouldn't have hit the ball out. They had Fred Van Vliet, who does not look comfortable after picking the ball up.
Sideline entry from Cotton. Van Vliet. Weaves his way across. Oh, are you kidding me? The pretty right hand from early.
What a play by Van Vliet. Splitting the double team and going for the...
Barnett. Air ball. Lou Field, the loose ball. Van Vliet, 7-second. Van Vliet allowed to dribble. And here comes the foul with 3.2.
What a great play by Fred VanVleet. Keeps his dribble alive and splits the dribble. You know, so oftentimes you're taught as soon as a double team comes that the double team comes and you pass the basketball. That's not actually accurate. Point guard for a reason. If you split the double team, here it is. The double comes, that's fine. So weak double, you split it, you make one guy play you, and credit Wichita State. So many other bring it out. Why bring it out? 2 free throws are a lot more difficult than Clee Anthony early at the rim.
Here are free throws for VanVleet after Barnett picked up his first.
Yes, he does exceptionally well. Did it well last year as a true frosh in the NCAA tournament.
Has already made it a 2-possession game with 3.2. Fans start to make their way to the exits. To 65. Timeout, St. Louis.
That's a difficult matchup for Wichita State.
VanVleet, by the way, that was his game dime. With the free throws, he is 1 of 5 in double figures.
That did not touch anybody, only touched. And that actually, I believe, could have been a violation. Had the ball gone, would have been a violation. Because no one touched it. Gets it underneath. And you think you're Wichita State, you're ranked 12th in the country. You'll be a top 10 team next week.
Takes out BYU and St. Louis in succession.
BYU's a good team.
Time ticks away. And the Shock go to 8-0 as they beat the Billikens in St. Louis, 70-6.
Last year, John, on the way to the Final Four, they stole the mantra from